Okay, I've saved the file, uploaded it here so I can get rid of fetch. This is the file that I just uploaded. I'm back in Facebook, and now let me see. What happens when I run that Facebook app. And let me bring the source code up here so that we can compare it with the app. And lo and behold, the app is running. And this is what I added to it. This is the code down here, the dashboard. And what I've done is to create with this code this dashboard here. This is the name of my application. This is the logo, which I haven't set yet. But the dashboard, which is this section of code here, is everything else that you're seeing here. So, for example, inside the dashboard I have an action, which is called home. And as you can see, it's a link to another file, index.php. In fact, it's a link to the same file, because home just takes me to where I am. Then I have an FB help element. Here's the opening part, here's the closing tag. It's called about, and it's over here. I have another FB help element. It's called help. It goes to a file called help.php. It also is over here. Now, the way the dashboard works is that FB actions are on the left and FB help elements are on the right. Originally, the idea was you had one action, you have one help, but you can have multiple ones, and it's typical that we have an about over here. And it happens to be technically an FB help element, but the name of it is about, and it links to an about page. You normally have at least one action, sometimes 3 or 4, and usually 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 help elements over here, usually at least help and about. The create button element down here generates this unique Facebook application button, and the text of it is set here, and the file that we go to that does the actual creating is determined in the href part of the create button. This is the code that generates a dashboard. We use it very, very frequently inside our Facebook apps, and I'll show you a way to streamline the production of this code so you don't have to put it into every one of your files. Now, in order to streamline the dashboard so that you don't have to put it in each of your files, what I've done is to create a new file here called dashboard using a PHP construct called HereDoc. This is the dashboard code that I was using before, and it's the code that I want to be in each file. HereDoc is a PHP construct that lets you take a variable, here I'm calling it the dashboard, and insert into it code that you have simply typed in here as you would normally type HTML or FBML code. You give it a name, 3 left pointing brackets, a name here, and then you terminate this section of code with that same name, and it must start in column 1. So this name must match this one, and this must be in column 1. And all of this code is then placed inside this variable called the dashboard. This is a section of PHP code, and then I will echo it back. So I can now use dashboard in all of the files in my Facebook application that need my own Facebook application's dashboard. So let me close this, and now I'll come into index. I don't need this anymore, but instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to say include dashboard PHP, and that whole chunk of code is going to be inserted there into this code. And the application should run exactly as it did before, but as always, it's a good idea to test it.